Hello, good morning. In this video, I will show you a demo of the integration of IBM Z Workload Scheduler with Zowe. Specifically, I will show a demo of the Zowe CLI extension of IBM Z Workload Scheduler. So let's start taking the command line for Zowe. I have it installed, and if you look at the help with Zowe -h, you can see this is the command line for Zowe, and we have this group of commands available. All of them, other than this one, are available as part of the core Zowe CLI component. The workload automation, or WA, group of command is added as part of the IBM Z Workload Scheduler plugin. With the command Zowe Workload Automation -help, we can see all the commands that are available as part of this plugin. So this is the group of commands that are related to the integration with the IBM Z Workload Scheduler. You can see you have a command to execute WAPL commands. You have a command to get resources or job in the plan. You have a command to list a certain number of resources in plan or in the model. You can set even the status of a job. You can submit a job stream, or you can update resources or job in plan. You can navigate the help. For example, you can do Zowe Workload Automation list -h to have the help of the list command, and you can have the all the resources that you can list, and then for each of them you can iterate with the help. But likely a more easy to use help is the web help. That should be something like this. I think it's help web. It will open the browser, and in the browser you can see all the command line help for Zowe, so with all the let's say built-in commands and all the commands for workload automation. So if you are interested, for example, in the list command, you can see you have the resources you can act on: job in plan, job stream in plan, job stream in model, job stream in plan, resources in plan. What we will use, for example, is the job stream in plan. You can click on it, and you can have the options like the name of the job stream or the status list and so on. And at the end of each command, you have even some samples, some examples that you can just copy, paste in your command line. Another command that we will use is the submit. You can submit from the command line a job stream in plan, and again, clicking, you have the tree. You can look at the options, required versus optional, and you have even some example on how it works. So in our demo today, we will use a specific job stream that I created, and it is called demo Zowe. I arrived here starting from the dynamic work console, clicking on design and manage workload definition. And from here I selected the engine, and then I filtered on demo Zowe. That is the name of the work stream that we will use. This job stream has basically inside it 3 jobs. It's very easy, as you can imagine, because it's for demo purposes, and you can see it in the graphical view. And so there is a Zowe 1, there is a Zowe 2 that depends on Zowe 1, and Zowe 3 that depends on Zowe 2. So if the execution ends in error for any of the job in the middle, let's say, the following one will be not executed. So let's see how it works in the command line. So we say that we have the command Zowe Workload Automation, and you can start with a list of the job stream in plan with name demo Zowe, and you will get the list of, say, job stream in plan demo Zowe, and there is none because right now the job stream is just in the model. So we can add it in model, and we will find it. So the job stream is defined in the model. It was defined on July 13, but it is not part of the current plan. So what we want to do is to add it to the current plan, and so we will do a submit. So workload automation submit job stream in plan, and mouse name demo Zowe. So I'm using the extended version of the commands because it's easier to remind them, but obviously for the submit you can use even JSP, for example, the shorter version if you remember it. Okay, so the job was submitted in a plan, and the command line returned the ID of the job stream submitted. So now we can check that indeed it is in the plan. So with the list, job stream in plan, and mouse name demo Zowe. And now we found it, but we found with a status that is in error. So it was submitted for the execution, but it ended in error. To understand what happened, we can look at the job that are belonging to the job stream. And as we saw, there are 3 jobs in the job stream. All start with the prefix Zowe, so it is easy to check for all of them with Zowe workload automation list job in plan minus job name Zowe asterisk. And here we can see that out of the 3 jobs that are part of the job stream, the Zowe one was completed successfully, while the job 2, the Zowe 2, was completed in error, and specifically with a ZOS error. And the Zowe 3 that is dependent on Zowe 2 is waiting because since Zowe 2 was ended in error, the Zowe 3 execution is not started at all. Now, in the real world, someone will investigate the reason for the problem for Zowe 2. In the demo environment, the Zowe 2 relies on a JCR that is incorrect and is the reason of the failure. Let's suppose that someone fixed the problem on Zowe 2, and we want to move ahead with the execution of Zowe 3. So what we can do is, once we know that the problem is fixed, is to set the status of Zowe 2 to complete, so the execution of Zowe 3 can go ahead. So we will still leverage the Zowe command line. In this case, we will use the set status for a job in plan, and we need to provide the ID. So Zowe workload automation set status of a job in plan minus ID, and we retrieve the ID from the previous query. And we assign a status as complete, and hopefully the command is right. Okay, to check that indeed the action that I submitted was correctly performed, we can list again the job in plan we name Zowe. And in this case, we can see that even Zowe 2 is now successfully completed because I set the status manually. And at that point, even Zowe 3 was started, executed, and completed successfully. At this point, we can check back even that the job stream is okay, and it is the case. So even the job stream that we submitted earlier is now given as completed successfully. So this is a simple demo to show how through the commands in the command line you can check You can submit a job stream in the plan, you can check the status, you can check the status of the single job, and you can then even change the status of a job and proceed with the execution of the other job, depending on the failing one. What I want to show you is even quickly some other commands, like the get. So the get allows you to retrieve more information about a single job, and either way you can use the online help, or if you are on the command line and you want to proceed and you don't remember how it is called, you can just always issue the -H. So I want the details for a job in plan, and I have to provide the ID. And for example, we will check the status of the, we will get the information about this job ID. And in the command line, you will get all the information about this job, this Zowe tree, with all the parameters, the actual arrival time, the end time, the last run, what is the job stream that it belongs to, and so on and so forth. One information that I left blank when I defined the job stream was the description, this field. So now I can update Zowe Workload Automation, update job in plan, -ID with the ID of the job. And I can change the description field, job or Zowe demo. So this is the command that I used. The update command for a job in plan. The required option is the ID to identify the job, and then I'm changing the description. If I submit the command, I can now check back the information for the specific job in plan, and hopefully, yeah, we will see that the description was changed to job for Zowe demo. The only other command that we didn't see in this demo is the execute. The execute is for advanced user, and specifically it allows the user to issue a WAPL command, where WAPL is a workload automation programming language, allows you to create complex command. You can issue the command as a string in the command directly, or you can have it in a file if it is a complex command, and you can run it in a file. And here there are, for example, a couple of examples of the workload automation execute WAPL with the command, or workload automation execute WAPL with the file that contains the command. It ends the demo. As said, multiple scenarios can be implemented, and the power of this integration is the ability to even automate, let's say, the management of job stream in plan, job in plan through a command line, and so through scripting. Thank you.